Paul's not here because he's a bitch. Oh, God. That was the worst. I'm glad that you went in on it too, Ramon.
Mine was great.
It was both bad, but also Paul's isn't great either. It's one of those things. It's like herpes. You hate it, but you know it's with you for life. Welcome, everybody, to the Bass and Brews podcast. Happy Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, whatever fucking day you're listening to it.
Bass and Brews.
It's exactly. And Paul's not here for right now. He might drop in. He might not. We'll see. You know, if you guys don't know Paul, as the show has progressed, especially in 2024, his diva status has raised every single week to where now he's sending a writer of things that he wants before he'll go on a podcast. It's just basically like bacon and just straight up, Crisco lard. So if you guys want to help with paying for all this Crisco and bacon, make sure to sign up for the Patreon. It's your only way to get access to Last Call with Alex and Paul. We just got done. It was another great month update. And we're here. We got Ramon. So Ramon was on, what was that, 2 months ago, right?
February, I think.
Yeah.
February or March? February.
So we wanted to talk about YouTube, and he had a little bit of a time constriction, which I don't understand. It was ridiculous. I know he had just had a baby at that time. But I find that, your real friends will prioritize Bass and Brews over babies. It's not Bass and Babies.
I think that tells you everything that you need to know then, right?
Just joking. I hope, how's the baby doing? Good?
Great. She's doing great. She's
amazing.
Huge. She eats a lot, sleeps enough, and we're going through diapers.
That's perfect. That's all you need, right? Exactly. We've talked about it. You need those three things. Eat, shit, sleep. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Speaking of Paul's writer, he said that you need to send him his crankbaits.
You motherfucker. We're starting out. You got a motherfucker at 2 minutes and 36 seconds. God damn.
It's tough long enough. I know how to get them.
Here's the issue is that I can't find the crankbaits. I just can't find them. It's what the issue is. So, but Paul will drop in. So we have Ramon on. So he was a little kind of like stretched for time last time. And we really wanted, and you guys spoke about doing kind of a deep dive on YouTube. And I think we talked about this at the other last call for Alex and Paul, but Ramon recently hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is fucking insane. Because I remember first getting in contact with Ramon, like way back when you first started your channel. And it's so absolutely amazing to see from so today I went to your channel and I'd hit that button. Nobody ever hits this button, but it's the sort oldest to newest. And I hit that button to see what you did back then to now is fucking awesome, man. To watch that progression is fucking cool as shit. And again, we got to have you on maybe one more time this year and you can beat out Alex Rudd. So you're almost there for
it's not enough. I'm coming back on at least 3 more times this year.
We'll see. I mean, we tried a couple weeks ago. He was too busy.
No. Don't make me pull the receipts, man. Don't make me pull the receipts. You said, I asked you, send me a calendar invite. I said, send me a calendar invite. You're like, sure, when I get a chance. Never happened.
I never got a chance. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, man. And it's funny. I have to correct you though, because you and I started talking before I even made the channel.
You're right.
It was just an Instagram account at the time.
Yep.
And we were going back and forth, chit-chatting, and I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And you were like, oh, I already have one. And I'm like, cool. And I'm like, I'm launching it in April. It's coming. And that was 3 years ago now. And somehow you're still around, man.
Yeah.
You're still around.
Well, listen,
you pivoted. You're doing Bass and Brews, but I can tell that you're enjoying this way more than trying to come up with like YouTube videos ideas, because I know.
I mean, we're gonna talk about the bulk of that, like burnout's a thing, and like we'll cover all that. But yeah, no, like we're here again, stoked. If somehow you're under a rock and you don't know, like Ramon was the first guest ever on the show. And what's funny is I didn't realize that you started the channel in April, because Bass and Brews was April of that same year, like the end of April. So it was, that's crazy. 3 years later, I stopped making videos. You look like you're in a murder mystery background now, like one of those.
This is all fake. This is all CGI.
It's all dark and mysterious, except for the one fan in the back. It must be hot. I got you. I get it.
I have people over there behind the glass. They're making all this happen.
He's got himself a Jamie. Can we get a Jamie? Oh, and to kind of piggyback from last week. So we did get an email from Joe Rogan's people, and he's spooked. He's spooked. Okay. He eventually talked to Mike Iaconelli, and he understood the heat that can happen if he messes with Bass and Brews. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Supposedly he's going to stop podcasting altogether. So if you guys are coming over from the Joe Rogan experience, welcome. We are the superior podcast, so welcome.
You can't even finish that sentence without laughing.
I can't. That's it's so good. All right, so we're going to talk about YouTube. We have had at this point, this will be episode 165, and the bulk of those episodes have been creators in one form or another. And I think that YouTube is still that beast, that high pinnacle. That platform holds a lot to a lot of people, and it's an important one, I feel like. But a lot of folks, especially our TikTok friends from Fish Talk, that might be, and not just them, but anybody, it could still be daunting to like jump into YouTube and how to kind of be successful to be a multimillionaire like Ramon is. So he's going to break us down and give us a full breakdown. And here's kind of where like I want to start, which would be I was not prepared for, so I'm just trying to fill time. I would say I do want to talk about this tournament, but I know when Paul gets on, he's going to want to,
Yeah, we can wait for him.
Yeah. He's going to shit on you. So again, why we have Ramon on here is that Ramon, as of right now, May 9th, Ramon is at 10.4 thousand subscribers with 1.9 thousand videos. And he did this all in 3 years, which is very, it's very commendable. And it's an awesome, absolutely awesome feat that you have done.
Which I'm not happy the way YouTube lays that out, because it's not actually 1.9 thousand videos. It's more like 150 videos and like 1.9 minus 150 shorts.
Oh yeah, the shorts. I gotcha.
So it's more like thousands of shorts and 150 videos.
Well, we're going to cover that in a minute.
Yeah, exactly, because that's like basically part of the whole strategy there.
So we have a lot of folks that usually do short form, right? And short form can be kind of easy because it's short. But so why pick YouTube over other platforms?
See, the reason I don't like that question is because you really don't have to pick one or the other. Like, you can do it all. Like, it just depends on how much time you have to dedicate to it all, because each platform is different. Even if you're just a short form creator, each platform is different. You can have something blow up on TikTok and do crickets on Instagram and on YouTube. I focus on YouTube because that's where I want to go, because that's where I feel like the longevity is for long form content. And that's what I like to do. Like, I make short form content, and it has taken me a long time to find a format that I like to do, that I can see myself doing for a long time, versus kind of following what's trendy and stuff like that. Not to say I don't do that. I do like those TikTok templates and use the trendy music and all that stuff. But as far as like finding legitimate trends to go viral to hop on top of. That's not something I like to do. I would one of the arguments I would say like 2-3 years ago, or whenever TikTok first started taking over, was that, well, there's no money in TikTok and yada yada. That's not really the case anymore.
Right.
Now, from what I've heard from people that I've spoken to, even if it's like, and I'm not talking about ads, but I'm talking about like brand deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're about equal now.
Yeah.
Depending on your audience size. So it's like, there's no real reason to go in one direction or the other. It's just, what kind of content do you like to make? Do you want to make YouTube videos? Do YouTube. Do you want to make short form content? Do all three and see where it sticks, because you can definitely leverage all of it. Even Facebook, believe it or not, has Facebook Reels. And you say ugh, but let me tell you something. My Reels that go to Facebook actually make me money versus the ones that don't go to versus the ones that are on Instagram and on TikTok.
Right? No, that's
not a lot. It's
right,
not a lot.
But that's the same for us too. But somehow Paul owns our Facebook, so he actually gets all the money for that.
It's fair, man. You still haven't sent him his crankbakes.
All right. Well, this is a great episode, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. No, so do you think, all right, so so with TikTok, everybody kind of understands that like TikTok's the king of short form, right? And maybe they're fucking up by going for long form, and they've definitely had a snafu over the holiday season with the TikTok shop. And by snafu, I mean they still made millions of dollars, right? But I feel like a lot of people got burned out on that. But with the impending ban, which may or may not happen, like YouTube's never gonna be banned. I don't see a place in the world where YouTube is banned. I feel like that's kind of the safest platform, but I do feel like it's harder to 100%. Break into YouTube than it is these other ones, right? It's harder to go viral or even just get your feet underneath you and start making that path.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's a platform where it does take a while. Not for everybody. I got asked the question, like, what do I got to do to like grow my audience on YouTube? And the question I responded back with was, well, how fast do you want to grow? Because there are ways to blow up a YouTube channel. There are, even in our industry, even in our niche where it's like fishing content, you can find some really outlandish ways. And I'm not even talking about like weird challenges where you're like using gummy worms, your favorite videos.
I hate them.
Your favorite videos where you're like someone's catching a fish with a gummy bear. But there are like some pretty wild things that if you have the resources and you have the opportunity to go do those, you can grow an audience really fast. Like I can tell you one thing, saltwater fishing guys grow way faster than freshwater fishing guys.
They really,
because the action is different. They're dealing inherently with larger fish, and people love to see big fish. But there are like, that's the biggest question is like, how fast do you want to grow? Because you can grow fast. You can do super trendy things. You can do things that are outlandish and crazy and out there that'll get you views, but you have to be able to sustain that is the biggest thing. And that's kind of goes with the way I approach my YouTube channel is I make videos that I like to make, not that I have to make. Which I feel like a lot of people don't do or didn't do, people we were coming up with that they didn't do that and they burnt out.
Yep.
They were doing videos that they thought they had to do. Oh, I got to make these kind of videos because these are the ones that get views. I got to do this thing over here. I got to swing this way because this is where the audience is. Instead of trying to build the audience that they want to have, they started chasing an audience that they thought they should have. And that led to a ton of people burning out that aren't making YouTube videos anymore. People that catch way better fish than I do. People that fish way better than I do. People that had way better rigs and camera setups before I had anything remotely close to what they had. That just were like, you know what? I need to step back. I'm burnt out. I'm doing too much. And I think that's the key is like 10,000 subscribers in 3 years to people who have eclipse that in half the time,
Sure.
that's nothing. To them, they're like, that's not much. But at the pace, I have kids, I have a full-time job, I have responsibilities.
So many responsibilities that you'll just like not show up for a show, correct?
Exactly. So that the goal is to do it sustainably and grow sustainably, because I don't want to be burning myself out over, and I have it right there. I make silly fishing videos. I make silly fish videos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to burn myself out on that and have everything else suffer because I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. It's important to me to grow this YouTube channel. I do want to make this a career. I'm not going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, you're making millions of dollars.
In fact,
I get it.
More like pesos. But if I always see this question when it comes up, I always see people, creators, give this answer like, if it turns into something great.
Right.
Not if. I want it to turn into something. Ideally, in a few years, this will be the gig.
Yeah. Well,
but
honestly, if anybody I know could do it again, I've known you for we're at coming up 4 years now, 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, you have always said, like, this is gonna be a thing for you. Mm-hmm. And you've always like had this like grand master plan. At least that's what it seemed like to me. Like, you always had a plan of at least like 6 months ahead of time of this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. And it's not that like, because I mean, everybody knows I'm a failed YouTuber.
What you mean? You still post on YouTube?
I mean, that's true, right? But not the other stuff, right?
Let me say this. You're only a failed YouTuber if you stop.
Okay. Yeah.
It can take you. I mean, go back to all those big YouTubers that are huge today. They were doing it for like 8-10 years before they got to the point where they're at today.
It is very true. Like, everybody wants it real fast. I have a couple questions before we fully get to that, but you've always had a plan, right? I never had a plan when it came to like my fishing videos. Even to the point where like putting this show out on YouTube was secondary. It took me a hot minute, probably a little bit too much longer, or it took me a little bit too long to realize like I knew I loved doing this more than making the videos, but then to finally like switch the whole brand on the channel. But you've always had that plan. You always knew, like you would send me texts of like, hey, check this out. I'm going to put it out in like a month and a half. Like, that's forward thinking. So let's say you're just starting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So oh man, we're gonna diverge because all right. So what are the right reasons to start a fishing/outdoors YouTube channel? Like,
let me start with the wrong reasons.
Perfect.
Here's why you shouldn't start one.
Yeah.
If you
this guy's already a YouTuber. He's like, listen, I already know the tagline of the video. It says, these are the wrong reasons to start a YouTube
5 reasons
channel.
why you shouldn't start your YouTube channel. No,
here's the big one. That like button, comment down below, and then maybe subscribe and hit
share with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the big one is don't do it if you're just looking to make money. Like, if you're looking to make money quickly, just don't do it, because it's not going to happen. Even for channel, I mean, it can happen, and I've seen it happen. I've seen channels go overnight to start making a ton of money, but I've also seen those same channels kind of die out and fizzle and not hit that peak again. But don't do it if you are just trying to make money quick, because it's not going to happen. It took me like a year and a half, I think, 2 years maybe, to get monetized. Yeah, like to get into the partner program. And that was a lot faster than some, but a lot slower than a lot of folks out there that are making content. Like, one of the channels that comes to mind is Window Fishing. He's been doing it as long as I have, has twice as many subscribers than I do, because the content he makes, he has this knowledge base that he can tap into, and he's been able to grow his channel way faster than I have been able to grow mine. He's got
we tried to get him on to talk about this topic, but he was too busy, so we settled with you.
That's okay, man. I'm okay. I'll be Walmart window fishing. I'll be the Temu.
I'll be the Temu.
But but that's an example of like a channel that grows super fast. And I don't know what his pace is. I know he has another job and things like that. That much I do know. I don't know him personally, but he's able to work at such a pace and be able to tap into these subjects that it was able to grow him super fast. And the thing is, like, it's not gonna happen that fast. You're gonna be putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you're gonna be in the red a lot longer than you think you're gonna be. I didn't start breaking even until the end of last year.
Right.
With everything that I spent. And then I immediately reinvested in all of this.
Yeah.
So it's like
The true crime podcast studio
exactly.
setup. Yep.
Exactly. The 3D multi-dimensional CGI background built with AI. But like this whole setup, I immediately took all the money that I had made and I was like, I want to make, and this was the circumstance of like the baby was coming. I wasn't going to be able to get out and fish as much. I needed a home studio because if and this you talked about going back to my earlier videos. When I first started doing like sit down talking head videos, I was sitting in my backyard. You can hear lawnmowers going on in the backyard. You can hear the cicadas. You remember the big cicada hatch?
Yeah, dude.
In New Jersey, you could hear
Dude, it's so
them.
funny. I went back today, right? I'm like, let me find these other ones. And I remember like there's specifically one you're sitting on your back porch, right? And the cicadas are so fucking loud. But I remember that year because you were still in Jersey at that time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was a really fucking crazy cicada year. But it's so funny because you could tell you had to like bump the audio up, but you're still trying to like not have the cicada sound. And it was very nostalgia.
So it's like working through all those things. And I shot those on a GoPro. I didn't have the camera that I have now. And then again had to pivot to where I was shooting on the back deck at the new place here. And like it's which video is it? I think it's the Berkeley ultralight rod video. It's terrible. It's dark. You can barely hear me. It is not good, but it gets views. And that kind of shows like I was just going to do it. It was just going to happen. I was going to put out a video per week because that's what I could sustain. And that was the goal. It's like one video per week because that was comfortable. It's still comfortable. Could I push it to 2? Potentially. Will that cause stress in other parts of my life? Most likely. And that's not something that I'm going to compromise on. So it's like the biggest thing is like you have to be okay with not making money for a long time. But let me tell you something. My wife was always for me doing this because she's like, this is a great hobby. You're fishing. You like to make videos. You might as well make fishing videos, right? When I started making money, that's when she was always for it. She always supported me. God bless her. She's an amazing woman. But that was when she started supporting me even more. Because there were times where I would be like, hey, is it all right if I go fishing today or tomorrow? And she'd be like, okay. But once I hit monetized, once she started seeing those dollar signs, I was like, is it all right? She'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Go. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Go all week. Go all week. Do what you got to do.
She would not do that. But I wouldn't do that to her. But once that happened, it's like it's like a weight is lifted because it's like yes, that's to me. It's like that's the first real sign. Like we're doing this.
Yeah,
we're doing it. And
dude, I felt the same thing here. Like with Amanda, it's like she knows now. Like we record on Thursdays at 7:45. Right, my kids don't go to bed till 8:30, but everybody in this house knows. Like, okay, Dad's gonna go. He's going to go downstairs earlier tonight because he's got podcasts to do. It's an important thing. And you're right, monetize. But even like just like they obviously we make no fucking money unless you go to that Patreon. It's patreon.com/Bass and Brews. But anyways, like they understand like the importance of like just me doing this act, like me sitting here getting to like bullshit with my friends and new friends and maybe new people I don't ever talk to because no, I'm just joking. We have I love everybody that we have on, but you know what I mean? Like they understand that importance. So
yeah. Another reason why you shouldn't make videos or try to do YouTube is because you don't actually like to make videos. You just like to fish.
I feel like that's wow, that's probably like 75%. I think like 75% of it should be.
Yeah.
You like to make videos.
I'll give you a good example. Paul has constantly said he has tons of GoPro footage. He just doesn't want to sit down and edit it.
Yep.
And Paul catches fish. In fact, I was kicking
Allegedly.
myself. Well, he's got a trophy to prove it now, a few of them. I was kicking myself because when I left to go fish the tournament, I was like, oh man, I should have asked Paul to bring his GoPro because then I could stitch his stuff into my video and do like a side by side. And after the fact, once I hit the boat ramp defeated, I was like, it would have been like the sad.
Yeah, it'd have been so
side
funny.
And then the awesome side on the other end.
It would have been funnier if you just took his footage and then just dubbed
Put my face on it.
No, don't even put your face on it. Just dub it. Be like, hey, this is Ramon. See if anybody notices that all of a sudden you are extremely overweight and have a giant homeless man's beard. Like that would have been perfect to see what your viewers would have thought of that.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's like I like making videos. I like sitting down in front of the laptop, pulling the footage. I like seeing how I'm going to make this entertaining, how I'm going to make it better. And I always say because people ask me to review their videos and review their edits, and they're like, how do I know it's good? And I'm like, well, if you can sit through it after you finished it without skipping anything, then you know you got a good video.
Yeah.
Because
it's really funny because you'll send me clips, right? And we talked about this many years ago, right? And I will still keep that up. Like you just sent me one, what was that, yesterday or today?
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yesterday, right? So I leave the interface up and I have my hand on my thumb on the 15-second skip button.
Yeah.
And I feel like I keep it there specifically when somebody's like, hey, will you look at this? Because naturally, like if it's a buddy of mine, I'm going to watch it and be like, yo, dude, that's awesome. But you've been always really great about like, I want brutal honest. So I'll keep that there. And I like, if I feel the urge to skip, I'll skip. And I feel like you're absolutely right. That's super. Once you start getting into the nuts and bolts of it, like you need that like real feedback on if shit's boring or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And the best person to give it is yourself. And people don't realize it because, I mean, you sit there, you edit your footage, you've reviewed this footage at least once or twice. I hope that when someone's editing their video, they don't just do one edit and they're gone and they're done.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing that, then, you know, and I don't know, maybe someone's a savant and can like edit the perfect video, you know, Christopher Nolan over here, and does like an interstellar level edit on their first go.
I heard that he did that with one go. Yeah.
He did it and he covered one eye and he hopped on one foot.
Yep. One take also. Everybody did it in one take too.
Everybody did one take and there was no CGI. But like you sit down, even if you got to step away for a few hours, sit down, watch the full video. If you find at any point you're skipping, you need to go back and see why you're skipping. Is it boring? Are you holding on to a spot too long? Are you repeating yourself a lot? Things like that. But overall, if you don't like editing videos, you're not going to have a good time making YouTube videos. And I feel like that's why a lot of people gravitate towards short form content. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
It's because it's easier. It's easier to create, not easier to be successful, because you could do it with the phone. You can do it while you're just sitting around for 5 minutes. You've already got the footage. You start putting it together. CapCut makes it super easy where you only got to edit it once now. You put your music on there, you export it, and then you can send it wherever you're going to send it.
Yep.
And it's way more accessible to make short form content than it is to make videos because you don't really have to edit such long of a video. You're just editing a minute max, maybe now with how TikTok's expanded, like 2-3 minutes now, and
maybe
it could be more raw. It doesn't have to be
it's probably preferred. It's probably preferred on TikTok, probably preferred to be raw. Like,
oh yeah,
look at a guy like Bass and Brews. He makes some of my favorite videos on TikTok, right? And
great.
he does not have the numbers that he should. And I think it's because like they're little mini movies, right? And people don't want
Yeah.
that on TikTok for some reason. I love them.
I
But
think
yeah, like
I think it's also because I look at his stuff, and I think it's also is that the audience hasn't found him yet,
okay.
because there are artsy fartsy type channel accounts
Yeah.
out there on TikTok that
Yeah.
have tons of followers, but they've
Yeah.
been doing it for a
It
long
takes a
time.
long time, right?
A
Because you've
long
got to
time.
build up a trust with your viewer,
Mhm.
especially on that point. And then you've got to again, like he does a really good job of storytelling. I was gonna
Yeah.
like if you're gonna do like short forms easier because you can give a slice of life, you can do whatever, right? But for long form, you gotta try to like map out a video almost to be able to tell this story.
Yeah.
You gotta have a beginning, a middle, and an end kind of deal, right?
Even
Like
if it's
it's
something as simple as like, I'm gonna fish this tournament and we're gonna see how we
yeah,
do.
yeah.
That's it. But you do have to find the storyline. You do have to find.
Right. And a short form, you don't have to. It's just a burst of consciousness, right? So
Mhm.
that's where I do. He does. You're right. He will find the audience hopefully soon. Again, I think he's extremely underrated for a
Yeah,
short form
100%.
guy. I think he does such an excellent job of editing all that stuff. And he slept on, but it's because people just want this like burst of bullshit, basically. I mean, not bullshit. I take that back. Not bullshit, but you want that instant, like, okay, I get this. This is funny, or oh wow, that's cool. Like that
Mhm.
instant dopamine hit compared to when you're on YouTube. You're looking. Usually, if you're going to YouTube, you're looking for something longer, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't
exactly.
ever like. I'll go to. I'm still the guy who like on TikTok. I don't like if I want to know how to do something. I don't go to TikTok. I will go to YouTube still.
Yeah.
Like if I want to know how to fish a swim jig, I'll go to YouTube. If I want to
Still
watch
trying to
somebody,
figure that out. You've been
right?
fishing a swim jig for years, and
No,
you're
no.
still
I mean, I
trying to
was
figure
just
that out.
using that. No, no, no. I mean, well, I'll just rewatch my old videos to reminisce when I caught a bunch. But you know what I mean. But then if I want to watch somebody catching a fish with a swim jig, I'll go to TikTok for that.
Mhm.
Like when I want that quick hit on it, that's kind of where I'll go. And that kind of segues. And you might have some more, maybe not to, but let's say somebody's starting out right now
Yeah.
and they've been on some other platforms before. Would you say to start out with long form or go for the YouTube shorts? Like kind of tip your toe in that first before you build the long.
I say do both. I always say do both.
Okay.
If you can sustain both. And I will give you a good example. So, with this channel and how far it's grown and how fast it's grown, it has led to an opportunity where I can work with another channel. It's in a completely
Mhm.
different niche. It is a paid gig.
Is it niche or is it niche?
It's either or. You can niche or niche, whichever way you want. But I've always said niche.
All right. All
Um,
right.
but I got hired on to essentially manage this YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I've only been doing it for, this would be month 2 now because I
That's
started in
awesome.
April.
That's wendellfishing.com. No,
No,
just joking.
gosh. No.
Just joking.
It's in the finance space, so it's a little bit more like, it's a whole different
Crypto.
space.
It's all about
No, it's not
crypto.
crypto. It's yes, NFTs. No.
Listen, if you guys want to know about YouTube and crypto, Ramon is the guy. He will sell you
Exactly.
a fucking dream and a oceanfront house in Arizona instantly.
Exactly. Got to love that oceanfront property in Arizona. But what it taught me was the same basic strategies work everywhere. Having a video schedule and having a shorts schedule and a strategy for both is going to help you, one, grow your channel, and two, build an audience.
Mhm.
The channel that I took over and started managing, before, they were like at, I think they were sub 1,000 subscribers and had less than, I think they were at like 600 total watch time hours.
Mhm.
I checked it yesterday. They're almost at 2,000 subscribers and they are at 2,000 watch time hours.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
And I've only done like 5-6 videos for this
Mhm.
channel at this point. A lot of what they had, because they already had good content. They already had good
Mhm.
valuable content. It just wasn't packaged right.
Gotcha.
So the first thing we did before we even started making new videos was going back, thinking about titles, thinking about thumbnails, repackaging all that. And you can literally see on their analytics, the videos, once we put those things in place, that it starts going from like almost a flat line and it starts to hockey stick up.
Yeah.
Because it's important. And that's one of the things that's, I think, is different than all the other platforms, is you do have to package your stuff properly. You do have to put some extra effort into the title, into the thumbnail, because that's what people see first. The beauty about TikTok, about Instagram, and even YouTube Shorts is you don't have to rely on that. It's the algorithm feeding it to you, like the algorithm that you have built as a user, not the algorithm that the platform has built, but the algorithm that you have built as a user, the things that you're interested in. It feeds you those things. And based off of what you do when that's in front of you, it feeds you more or less of those things. So you don't really have to think about title. You don't got to think about thumbnail too hard. In fact, you not even on YouTube Shorts. And you don't even have an option on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
You do on like Instagram and TikTok. You can pick like a screen. You
Whatever
can upload one on
frame.
Instagram, but you can actually upload one on Instagram too, like a specific one.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect you scrolling through the Reels
Exactly.
feed. Yeah,
exactly.
That's all for aesthetic. Yeah.
But on YouTube, you have to put in some effort, because if not, that's where videos go to die. If you leave
100%.
if you leave it, it could be the best video in the whole wide world. But if you have a terrible thumbnail and title and you leave it that way, it ain't going nowhere.
Dude, there's nothing worse than like spending the hours, right, to edit a video. You get the music in, we do everything that you talked about, and you review it multiple times, and you're chopping it up, making sure it's quick, it's good moving. And then you release that beast, and then you're like, fuck, I didn't get any goddamn fucking views.
Yeah.
But you realize that it's probably because your title's a little off. And I mean, this is jumping ahead a little bit, but like, do you have to do these? So like my thing was like, I fucking hated doing these clickbaity titles, right?
Yeah.
And I know Aggressively Average Anglers kind of talked about how that's kind of like a necessary evil at this point, to do these like very fucking infomercial style, like, oh, this is Billy Banks, I gotta fucking, you know what I mean, like these like very like overly dramatic titles to draw a user in. That they said it's almost like a necessary deal for it. So like, is there a way to do it without that? Oh my god, you know what, we had 37 minutes of like such good information, and now it's over. We already did that. We already did it.
I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. I'm here, and you can't do a hail without Raymond and Cider.
We actually, me and Ramon actually did the Heyo together.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Why does Ramon
Here it comes.
Why does it look like Jason Voorhees is about to bust through his wall and slice his head off? It looks like a
because he is,
horror
man.
film in there.
Here, you want me to make it brighter?
This is a YouTube episode. I thought the lighting would at least be
the
good.
lighting is great on his.
Hold on.
That's how it's supposed to look, Paul.
Here, I'll make it darker. You want me to make it brighter?
Darker.
There we go. Is that better?
That's better. We can
Is that
see
what we
Jason
want?
bust. We can see Jason
That
bust
is actually a
through
little better.
that
Yeah.
particle board wall of yours in the background, even though I think you get stuck between the studs that are 12 inches on center, and you could turn around and jig him in the neck with a pencil and win.
There's a lot of sharp stuff around me right now. I think I could do better than a pencil.
Hey, let's talk about our fishing tournament.
Yeah, let's do that.
This past weekend.
Hold on.
We'll get back to your question, Alex.
I just showed up. Whatever y'all were talking about can wait, because we have to talk about Ramon joined in on the fishing tournament this past weekend. He asked me where I was going to launch. I told him I didn't know. I didn't hear from him the rest of the time. Otherwise, he could have come over where I was and maybe done something.
What do you mean? I texted you in the morning.
Yeah, that's too fucking. That's too. But Ramon, I got at the boat ramp at 4:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with anything? I texted you before I even left the house. I was like, saw you got one already, because I started late.
I didn't know, but you
Cricket.
didn't say, hey, I saw you got one already. I just left the house. You just said, I saw you got one. I thought you were fishing.
No, I told you. Well, I didn't tell you. I put it in the chat on the, what is it called? Last Call with Bass and Brews. Sign up for it on patreon.com/Bass and Brews.
There it is.
And I was like,
make sure to
I'm
smash
launching
that
late.
like button.
I'm like, I'm launching late, but I will be there. Or something like that.
You expected me.
You read all the other stuff.
I was probably gone because I left early because I was tired of shit
there.
and I had to wake up at 2:00 in the morning. Regardless, Ramon, give us the quick synopsis because I can tell Alex is all perturbed that I came in here and ruined the fuck that was going on. Give us a quick rundown of your day, Ramon.
Oh yeah,
have y'all y'all hadn't talked about the tournament yet?
We've touched.
No,
on it.
we saved it
hey,
for you.
Alex, send me my fucking crankbaits,
dude. We covered this. I just can't find them. I just can't find them at all.
Ramon, tell us about your tournament.
Yeah,
this was a good tournament.
Sure.
We had a bunch of people. There were 70. I don't know exactly. There were between 60 and 70 something people. It was a big tournament. Big payouts. It was a good turn. So Ramon, tell us about yours real quick.
Yeah,
what happened with
definitely. But first, Alex, send Paul his crankbaits.
Again, this is like the 4th time, and again, it was a great episode. Everybody, see you later.
No,
hey, Alex can end everything, but I will restart it. Ramon,
okay, we'll be right back, and then we'll just figure it out from there. But no, the tournament was great. I launched at like 9:30. Lines in was at 6:30, so great start there.
Yeah, he missed all the good bite, the morning bite.
Pretty much had to take care of some things at home, but it is what it is. I was determined to get out there. In fact, I didn't actually load the car up till like almost midnight the night before because again, things were going on. But yeah, I stuck to my strengths. I fished what I knew, not just ultralight, but some other.
I was going to say he just fished ultralight then.
No, not just ultralight, but I fished like spinner baits. I even started going. Eventually, I started going to like things that I'm not comfortable with. But I did catch 2 fish. Unfortunately, not the right size or the right species.
God damn.
Yep. So I caught some catfish. That was pretty much it. I was fishing pretty popular. It felt like popular because I bumped into probably like 6 or 7 other kayak fishermen out there, and I thought we were all kind of in the same boat, but it turns out the area I was fishing, the person who won the whole thing was also fishing there. So it's just me who couldn't get a bite to save his life, but it was fun. I launched, and I still consider it successful because the last tournament I fished, I didn't even remember to check in on the app. This time I remembered to check in. But I didn't remember to check out until Sunday. So,
well, I mean, he had 0, so it didn't matter. But
the
you were
app
getting there.
Yeah, the app was yelling at me like, "Hey, you need to check out," and I was like, "Oh, my bad."
Well, that is good because you launched where Will and and people have heard me talk about Will's Mr. Century because he's put up 100-inch bags in like 4 tournaments the last 2 years around here, which is pretty impressive. But he did win the tournament. He's won a lot. You launched in an area where somebody else knew where some fish were.
Exactly, and that was the other thing is like I'm not too familiar with the area.
Yeah, but Bo, I told you too. You have to fish a little more. It's not just showing up on a tournament and on these lakes is not. It's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I immediately, like, before I even had the kayak in the water, I immediately noticed how, like, I don't even know how to say it, how behind the curve I was. Because I'm loading my paddle kayak into the water, pushing it in, and someone comes zooming by with their motor. They're not even pedaling. The pedals are moving on their own because they're zooming by on there. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to move that fast.
But see, this is the thing. You didn't even have to move fast. The guy who won it, didn't need a motor, didn't need.
Yeah, I think he just kind of sat in one spot, right? And where that was, I have no idea because I saw him. He went past me at one point. Didn't see him until we all started loading up because it started to pour down rain. We were like 20, 30 minutes away from where the meetup point was at anyway. So everyone kind of got off of the water at the same time. So that was like, as soon as I saw who won from the pictures, I didn't even look to see where he was fishing. I was like, oh, he was fishing where I was. So I just sucked. It wasn't the place. It was me.
Well, but I think he's the only one that did good. He and for folks that know, where at Falls Lake, Ramon put in at the Eno River, which is the main river that feeds Falls Lake, and I'm pretty sure he's really the only one that caught fish up in there.
There was a few other who caught some fish, I think, but not.
Yeah, but not.
I don't
like
think not the way
like,
he did.
Not like Mr. Century.
Yep.
Well, hey, this is the biggest thing is Alex. This goes to you. Bring gas and put in some tournaments because it's fun. Ramon couldn't make the weigh-in, but the weigh-in was huge. We had a ton of people at the weigh-in. It was a good time. You get to meet people, and the great thing about the weigh-ins, you will learn more at the weigh-ins after a tournament, because the majority of folks, at least in our clubs around here in the Raleigh area with CKA and CCKF, you can go talk to these people, and folks will tell you how they caught them, where they caught them, what they caught them on. It's a great way to learn. So just keep coming out, Ramon. Keep coming.
That's the plan. I'll see you in June, man.
What's in June?
The next tournament.
You gonna fish? You gonna fish
Paul
the
won't
Cape
be
Fear?
there.
Bullshit!
No,
I'm fishing. I won the Cape Fear last year.
No, I'm not fishing that one.
That's the next one. That's in June.
I know, but I will see. No, that's not the next one. Don't play with me. I already looked it up.
No, it's the next one because
What's the next one?
The next one's on the 19th. Cape Fear's on the 19th. Buddy, you better look at your Tourney X app.
See, all right, there's two different clubs. I'm saying CCKF. Oh, you're thinking you're talking Macintosh. Okay.
Yeah. That's the next one I'm doing.
Yes. So we got two different clubs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I should be fishing both of those. Should be.
But yeah, so I'll be there. I'm already planning my attack.
Alex was like, "Oh, call me when you get better than second." Bitch, I don't win tournaments, Alex. Little fucking short motherfucking shit, bitch.
Mm-hmm. I put a nice post out. It was good to see you get third, especially after getting your butt spanked. That was awesome, man.
Hey, if you're gonna finish third in any tournament, it would have been that one because it was a nice payday. Third place is a nice payday.
That's great. You gonna put that back into the podcast or no?
Bitch, the podcast didn't do shit for me in that tournament, so no. Matter of fact, the Queen City.
Hey, you have a shout out.
Uh-oh.
You have a shout out. You have a shout out to give.
Oh. Gary. My man Gary.
Jesus
Foothills Kayak. Look, this is why
he's the worst.
This is why I texted you that shit.
I
the
know.
second that it happened, so we wouldn't forget. We got Gary, Foothills Kayak Anglers, which is also our buddy John House. Y'all need to go follow John House.
Yeah.
Go follow the Real Anglers tournament coming up. But Gary, Foothills, we had quite a few guys from the Foothills Kayak Anglers that came and fished with us. And Gary came and introduced himself. He's a listener. Doesn't have any social media, but Gary, if you're listening, you said you'd be listening. I told you I'd shout you out. Mm-hmm. Hey-o, good meeting you, buddy.
And also, sorry, Ramon, I don't mean to derail your episode. I was waiting for Paul. Everybody remember, head to Apple Podcasts, if that's what you listen on. Leave a 5-star review, and then be as mean as shit as possible in the comments. We have a new one,
5
Paul.
stars.
Yeah, so you ready, Paul?
Yes.
This is 5 stars, so they got that portion right. It's from Matt Collins Fishing. The title is Ouch. If you're looking for a way to make the drive across Kansas even worse, put the Bass and Brews podcast on. The next gas station can't come soon enough for a break from these two. Thank you, Matt. And that really wasn't that mean. I feel like you could do better, Matt. Hey, Matt, go back in there, make a Smurf account, like a Smurf email, leave another 5-star review, and just be meaner.
I would expect so much more meanness from a Green Beret.
Me too. Well, maybe not. They're a little soft.
Yeah, they are like the third tier special forces group of the United States.
I heard that
behind
the
Coast Guard.
Yeah, I honestly heard the Coast Guard deployable operations group, the dog, is more elite than the Green Berets, so they could maybe step it up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, he couldn't cut it in the Green Beret, so he went to go fly Chinooks. Y'all, we're just kidding. Matt Collins is a damn badass motherfucker. He's probably one of the most badass people we've ever had on this podcast. So
listen, one of us isn't kidding, and that's Paul. And I hate to bring this back, but Paul's back to hating the troops. So Paul hates the troops.
Hey, my tournament went good. I won't recap
Nobody
it because
cares.
I did
Nobody gives a
recap
fuck.
it on
Nobody cares.
the
Yep, we already recapped.
tournament.
We're done.
And
We're
recap
done.
that Alex actually posted. Thank goodness this time. He still
We're
didn't
done.
post the other tournament
I'm not
recap
going
and
to.
midday and all this. But guess what? What I was saying, Queen City had if anybody that listens fishes the kayak world, Queen City, Vinny has the native no limit big bass power hour tournament every year. They're all over the country now. It was supposed to be at Hartwell this weekend, but they had some issues, so Vinny switched it and made it an open event for all North Carolina and South Carolina people. So now tomorrow or Saturday, I'm fishing another tournament. I'm fishing the native no limit big bass tournament. So we've got another tournament coming up this weekend, this Saturday, that I'm going to go fish in and hopefully try to win some monies.
It's great. Okay. You done, Paul?
I'm done until you start talking so I can interrupt you at the most inopportune time. I will say this too. I've given some updates on my social media about the wren nest, and I misspoke. I said it was a catbird. It's a cowbird. And I'm wondering how it's going to be because I talked to one of my birder friends and I asked her, I was like, hey, what's going to happen? Is the wren mama going to kick this other bird out or what's going to happen? She said, well, what usually happens is the cowbird will take more food and kill the other one. So we're going to see what Mother Nature does, but I'm going to update these daily moving forward. And if the cowbird starts to take over and the wrens are going to die, I'm going to move that little fucking bitch to somebody else's nest and see what happens.
Make sure when you move the bird to send me the video. We'll post that on the Bass and Brews one too. So it's just not lost in the abyss of the.
So give me a quick recap of what I missed.
Nope,
I've got my Drunkwood. I've got my Drunkwood hat on, y'all.
Nope.
Go buy Drunkwood. It's too late for Mother's Day, but you can get in on Drunkwood to buy some really good shit for Father's Day coming up. Yeah. That's right.
Hey, and he needs to make money because he just got contacted by what was that lady's name, Paul?
Ashley something or another. I don't know. Some porn star contacted.
Drunkwood just got caught up in a scam with Angelina White. So he's going to be he's going to be sending her some wood. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but he needs some help. So hook him up. But no, I'm not going to do a recap. That's your fault.
It's okay, Paul. I can do it. We said hey-o for like 15 minutes straight.
Yep, that's true.
We both almost passed out. And then we started doing a spoons competition to see who could play the spoons the best. And then after that, we just kind of started going back and forth trying to make the best water droplet sound.
Look, bitch, y'all know damn well if we play in the spoons game on here, my fat ass is going to beat y'all because can't nobody in this podcast tonight play a spoon like
Play the spoons right now. Play them. Play them.
I don't have any food. I have to
fuck off. I don't know what to tell you then. Anyways, okay. All right. So
Alex
Ramon.
is too short to play the spoons because when he tries to slap them on the knee, they hit the ground. Alex's spoons are taller than his pecker.
No, that makes perfect sense. That's such a good one.
You got to be really short.
Goodness.
All right, Paul. You continue on. Go ahead. Finish the show, Paul.
Hold on, Alex. Hey, Alex. When's your tournament?
Next weekend.
It was last week and I missed it.
No way.
He's lying.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. I missed it.
No, bitch, it wasn't last weekend.
Yeah, it was.
And you didn't go?
I thought
fucking piece of shit.
I thought it was the last weekend in May, but it was the first weekend in May. Like it was
Ramon,
last.
Was
Ramon,
it the South Jersey Bass Club
This
Association?
motherfucker didn't even go fish his own fucking tournament. Look.
Hold on. You talking about? Oh, you sure did miss it, didn't you?
I fucking did. Yes.
It's okay. There's one tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that one tomorrow.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
Oh,
You'd
okay,
have to
there's
come down to North Carolina.
there's one on the 1st of May. You can do that one.
Alex,
No, it's
serious?
already
You
May.
missed the tournament.
Ramon, it's already May.
Oh wait, it is already May. Hold on.
Yeah.
June. 1st of June.
What is it? An open or is it a member only?
It's a South Jersey Kayak Bass Fishing Club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
All
It just says kayak.
All right,
Yeah,
you know what? I'm done
missed
with this shit.
link
Y'all continue talking what you're talking about because this motherfucker has
I missed it. I didn't mean
disappointed
to.
Find another
me
one.
so
I know.
fucking
I will
much
find
right
another
now.
one.
I'm so disappointed in this.
I'm
motherfucker
disappointed
right now.
too. Would you stop? I'm disappointed too, and I've been hiding it. It's been my dirty little secret for the last week and a half.
And then he made a post today about who's the host at blah 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 with what that little short motherfucker with the
It's
glasses
both
and
of us.
cross-eyed.
It's sketch.
And he didn't even do anything with me.
What? What do you want me to fucking do, Paul? What is we're at this point, Paul. What?
Acknowledge me
Maggie,
as a
I
co-host.
fucking do. As
You
a
didn't know that.
co-host.
You just said me. I'm the guy.
I didn't. I spoke as the royal we, as in it's both of us. Listen, I don't want to get into this. Anyways, you fucking derailed this whole thing. Now I'm on the wrong side, and I don't like it because I'm the actual fucking creator. Anyways. All right, Ramon, you ready to get back locked into this?
Sure. Sorry, I just noticed there's a hook on my floor, and I'm like, my kids are gonna step on that. I better pick that up.
Better keep them out. All right, so when it comes to starting a channel, you're about ready to start it, right? So we covered kind of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of people have a entry to barrier beam equipment. So should you wait until you have the full deal, or should you
don't
start with
making videos until you have a $3,000 Sony camera?
Solid. This is Jabberhammer
15 GoPros.
Advice. This is Jabberhammer advice.
And a 360 camera so that you can capture every angle, and a Hobie and a Old Town and a Native. Don't even think about making a video unless you have at least 5 DC reels in your arsenal. No, just start with your phone. Start with your phone. Find the most affordable GoPro or action camera you can use, because that's basically what I did. I bought the GoPro 7 Black when the 10 came out.
Yeah, I remember
because it was on sale.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I bought it when I thought the latest version was the 9, and literally the next week the 10 came out, and so the 7 dropped significantly, and I felt like I overpaid. But
so let me tell y'all about how I caught my fish this past weekend.
Yeah, let's do it.
Paul, you're done. Stop.
Well, he threw a frog, and he caught his first big one early. I think it was 20 inches, 20.75, something like that.
I throw a frog and I throw a Carolina rig. Okay, all right, let's go back to YouTube.
But
Ramon says, just get something that records.
Yeah,
doesn't even have to be good.
It could be a daggum freaking Motorola Razr for all I care, as long as you can get that footage into something you can edit, and it's at least somewhat visible. Like that's all that matters. Is I've seen people create content with phones, and I thought they were GoPros because they had them on chest mounts. I've seen people use very basic early GoPros making really good content. You could make it with anything. What's up, brother?
So
what's up, brother? Tuesday.
Yeah, Alex doesn't even know what that means in football. So this is to add on to that point about just doing what Greg Blanchard up until a couple years ago did all his shit on the Apple iMovie. That's where he edited all this stuff. Up until a couple years ago, he talked about it on the podcast. If you go back and listen to that, like he wasn't using Adobe or any of this bullshit. He had his GoPros and shit, and he was editing all his shit on the Apple iMovie.
Yeah, you can do it on iMovie.
That's a free app. It's easy, and we can all agree that if there's anybody, at least in the kayak world, and I will say in the fishing world, that creates content on YouTube that makes you feel like you're there with them, Greg Blanchard is one of the best at it. And he was editing his shit on Apple iMovie.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome to hear that. And in a couple GoPros.
Windows Movie Maker, still a thing. Yeah. Still usable.
Wow.
CapCut.
Yeah, but that bitch crashes like a motherfucker.
CapCut now has a desktop app. It's free.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's free. It's easy to use. You can use it on an iPad. You can use it on a computer. You can use it on a phone. Mike Potter. Mike goes fishing. For the first like 2 to 3 years of him making YouTube videos, he was editing that stuff on his phone. He was doing it in hard mode. He would transfer the footage from his GoPro to his phone via the cloud app, I think, which takes forever, and then edit it on his phone.
That's what I did.
Insane to me. Like I can't. Like I'm like.
That's what I did for the first year that I did it. I would upload everything to LumaFusion, right? But it would be through the weird Wi-Fi sync between GoPro to the phone, and I would do everything on my phone. Yeah, and you can totally do that, right? I don't know if it's the best. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not the best, but it's great to start out with, especially with like learning how to do cuts and like, just trying to simplify everything before you get to the big stuff. So you can totally do all of this with like free. And I'll always like LumaFusion isn't the best, especially as of now, right? There's some other better options, but for $20, you can get a pretty good editor on your iPhone or whatever else. It'll slice everything up. It'll do multicam too. If somehow you wanted to do that straight up off your iPhone, you can do all of that for $20. It's not a monthly subscription. It's just a one-time payment. So
and that's the thing. You can do it with very basic things. You can even do uncut stuff because I know that's been huge lately, where people are just doing like 1, 2 hour, 3 hour long videos.
It's insane.
Uncut fishing videos.
Yeah, but would you recommend to do that to start?
If those are the kind of videos you want to make long term, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You will find the audience. The audience will find you, because the beauty of YouTube's algorithm is they want to feed their viewers more of what they like. So if you like to watch 2-3 hour long uncut videos, guess what it's going to recommend you?
I got you. But do you really think, I mean, so like I'm starting today.
Yeah.
Do you really think that's the move, is just to upload 3 hours of footage uncut? Just
tell me why not.
Why not? Because I feel like you might have a slower go at it, because I feel like that niche is going to be less than the folks that want the normal fishing videos.
Potentially, but are you trying to cater to everyone or just a specific audience?
Okay, so
that audience is huge. Because I'll give you a good example. I know you guys say his name a lot on this channel, Kayak Catfish. His uncut videos,
that guy. He gets so much.
His
free.
Uncut videos gets hundreds of thousands.
But
views.
He got that after he was established, like to become established.
It doesn't. No,
I mean
the viewership is there. Right. No, because the viewership is there. It shows that whether it's because of him or because of the length of video or the style of video, YouTube sees that these videos are getting lots of views. There's an audience for this one. Let's serve Alex's new 3 hour long uncut crappie fishing video.
Yeah.
To someone who just watched this video and see if they like it. Now, whether it's because they like Kayak Catfish or because they like just long uncut videos will influence how much reach you'll get. But it goes back to like what we said earlier.
Well,
make the videos you want to make long term.
So maybe don't worry about that in the beginning. Make what you want at 1st, right? Instead of trying to like toy with the algorithm to see what's going to make you pop off.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yes, Paul.
Go ahead, Paul.
All right, I got two things. One is taking how do you incorporate shorts into driving people to
we already covered that
videos? Okay. All right. So you already covered that. All right.
No. Well, we didn't answer that question.
Hold on. I got two things I said, motherfucker,
okay.
and y'all already talked about that. So anyway,
sure.
The other thing that I have is I forgot now because Ramon pissed me off. The shit, damn it! I had something else that's way better than that one.
Maybe you should have been here on time. Then you would
You know what? I had family. Shit
I know
to do,
you had big stuff, and then you said,
and unlike Alex, when I have family stuff, I still show up. Alex cancels his whole. He doesn't even come on.
So I'm not disruptive to the episode like you are now.
Bitch, that is what I'm here to do, is disrupt.
That is true. That is true.
Anyways, Paul, to answer your question, how do I tell great stories? Well, I just focus on the narrative. But no, like,
oh, poor Paul. Poor Paul's still getting it.
Paul, you had a good question on the shorts.
You know.
You had a good question on the shorts because we talked about shorts, but we didn't answer that specific question on like how do you use shorts. If
we weren't there,
if you're gonna make long form videos, shorts is just kind of like a commercial. Because especially YouTube makes it so easy now because you can actually tie a short to a long form video, and they want you to do that. And those shorts, from all of my testing, actually get way more views than the ones where you don't do it.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Yeah.
So that's a good way to like grow your audience, to find an audience, and it might not be the audience that you're trying to grow, but it is a audience, and it is a way just to get out there. I always like to treat those as like a billboard down the highway. You're someone's like, because when you're on YouTube Shorts, you're not looking for anything specific. You're just scrolling like you do TikTok, Instagram Reels, just scrolling on through. And if you see a YouTube short you like it, you watch it through, maybe watch it a little bit longer, you'll get another one, and then maybe you'll subscribe to the channel, and then maybe you'll go and look at the long form video. Now, the thing that I would like, my advice for that is your content on shorts has to be similar to your content on videos. A good example is like, if your shorts have this like super high, fast pace, upbeat, hey, welcome, hit that level of energy, and then your YouTube video is like an NPR style,
like 3 hour long catching.
Yeah. I'll give you a good example. Let's say your shorts is like Mike Iaconelli level of energy, but then your long form video, no, hold on. Then your long form video is like Indie Yak Angler.
That's perfect. Yeah,
exactly. Because it's different. It's way too different experiences. If someone goes to your long form video and they're like, wait, hold on, this isn't what I signed up for, that's not going to be a positive experience. But it is a way to grow a channel. They might not always translate to long form video, but subscriber numbers, and this is kind of getting a little bit in the weeds, but brands, they do look at subscribers. I've reached out to companies that I thought I would be a good fit to work with, who didn't have like a very high end product, and I was like, hey, I feel like we have good alignment, would love to work with you, let me know what you're open to. And they're like, well, we only work with people with 100,000 subscribers. And I'm like, cool, that's fine.
Sorry, meal fishing. Sorry, meal fishing.
But it's crazy that people still pay attention to that, but it's just it is, because I mean,
hey, and also that was a joke. Like Ramon works with.
Oh yeah, like it's literally like right here, like all of that CGI and 3D.
That would have been an absolute classic episode if he could have stayed longer than 30 minutes.
Oh, that was the best. When Paul said to Ethan, this would have been a really good episode if you could have stayed longer. And
Alex was appalled.
That was so rude.
But Ethan was fucking phenomenal, but he couldn't. It was like a
We should have him on
45-minute
again.
episode.
We should have him on again.
He got to have a long episode.
Recap. Yeah.
But the mule fishing shit, I mean, Ramon sent us the mule fishing stuff that he sent Alex and I a couple months ago now. I think back in February, a few months ago. Like when the summertime kicks in and I start fishing a lot more drop shot, the shit that Ramon sent me will play a small stuff. And when it gets into that drop shot stuff, you know, I'll start off with you know, a trick worm. I'll start off with you know, something like that. But if I'll start downsizing, if I'm not catching fish and I know I'm around them, I'll start downsizing. And those smaller lures, I've caught some big fish on a drop shot on those smaller lures, because the farther you get, at least for like Sharon Harris, for instance, the farther you get, the shad, when they hatch, they're super small. And so they get schooled up in these big schools. And so when they pull off, you get those big schools of small shad. And if you want to match the hatch, you downsize. And so I've caught some big fish on some smaller lures. So I haven't used them yet, but in the summertime,
they're killer
set up. Yeah,
you would have got first if you would have used them, Paul.
100%.
I would have. Actually, no, not what I was fishing, because I fished a drop shot. I was fishing brush. I lost about $100 in brass on Carolina rig. So, but anyway, we won't go there.
All right. So here's another question. So if I'm just gonna start a channel, right? And I've kind of devoted. I'm gonna do long form.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just look at all the shit I have, right? Every angler has a shit ton of tackle, right? Should I just do reviews on everything? Like to start out, because we all know most people go to YouTube to like search information, right? So should I start out by just like kind of spamming like, this is my favorite swim jet, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, is that a viable way to tackle this?
If that's the kind of videos you want to make review videos for what you have, then yeah, that's definitely a good way to start. My best recommendation is, because I've actually been asked this before, like what kind of content should I make, is make the content that you know. Like because the biggest thing that you don't want to be is inauthentic.
Yep.
And you don't want to be, essentially, you want to be the truest version of yourself, because if worst case scenario, someone bumps into you, or you start working and like with brands and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, what's he like? And it's like, well, you know, his videos, like, they're great, but he's not really what he's like, and yada yada. Like, word travels fast, you know. So talking about what you know is the best approach. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna find me talking about big glide baits. You're not.
You don't fish big glide baits on
baits.
ultra ultra finesse.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not gonna find me talking about like Carolina rigs, because I've never fished a Carolina rig before. But whenever I do, if I want to make a video on that, it's gonna be like learning how to do stuff. I have a whole series on learning new techniques and lures. That's the approach I took for it.
So, but when you take those, you take those as like, this is a new technique for me, this is the gear I like. Is that how you kind of take those videos?
The way I did is like, this is the new technique, this is the gear I'm using. Gotcha. Now, later on, I will potentially make a video on like, this is the gear I like. Like, for example, I did a video, and the YouTube short on it is causing a lot of comments where people are like, no, that's stupid. But I did a video on a $30 combo you can buy on Walmart. It's the Shakespeare Micro Series. It's the blue one. It's great. And I said, it's the best combo you can buy. It's cheap. It's durable. You can buy it anywhere. And it can handle big fish, because it's an ultralight rod. It caught me a 3-pound bass. That's big
for an ultralight. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So by that standard, it's probably the best. Now, there are other better combos, but not at $30.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like, that's my opinion. That's where I plant my flag. That's where I'm going to go to bat, because I believe in that rod. Now, if you're going to talk about a product that you've never used, that you don't believe in, maybe that's not a good idea. I'll give you a better reason. I'll give you a better thing. I got this in the mail, right? And they were like, "Hey, can you make a video on this? A TikTok on this?" And I was like,
Cass King knockoff Plano box.
Call it whatever you want. But they sent this to me like, "Hey, can you make a TikTok on this?" And I'm like, "Sure." I looked what everybody was doing. They were like, "This is the best thing." Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. I haven't used it. So what did I say in my TikTok? I'm gonna test this out. Yeah. If you want to test it out too.
Fuck that box. I'm gonna say right now, fuck that box, but that's not Ramon's opinion. That's my opinion. Fuck that box.
I'm gonna give it its. There's a ton of stuff hidden around here that you can't see that I will never endorse.
Yeah, because your lighting's terrible.
That too.
No, the lighting's great.
That too. But like, you're not gonna find me out there talking about a product.
What's up, brother?
Way that I don't like.
All right, this is my question. I saw your channel take a huge jump in growth when you started embracing catching the fish out of the pond.
Yeah.
Not bass, not big fish, but just going out and catching fish.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, all right, so let me try to frame this. So a lot of us and a lot of folks that are listening to this podcast are doing some kind of kayak fishing predominantly, and they're bass fishing predominantly, and may or may not be tournaments, but they're out targeting bass, right? So we're trying to catch big fish. You started focusing in on just catching fish.
Yeah.
If it was brim, crappie, bass, small, 3 pounds of big fish, where, when I go out, I'm going to a big fish to me. If I would go out and catch a quote unquote big fish, it's a 5 pounder. For folks that are wanting to start to create content on YouTube and they don't have a boat, they're fishing from the bank. There are people out there that create good content, strictly bass fishing from the bank. You did it from catching just anything out there.
Yeah.
How did you get to the point that you said, you know what, the hell with the bass fishing, I'm just going to go out and catch these fish regardless of how big they are. I'm going to go out and catch them.
Yeah.
How did you get to that point? I feel like there's a lot of people that will get discouraged because they try to go bass fishing, they try to catch big catfish or just big fish in general from the bank. It's hard to do, especially in the summertime. How did you take your channel from kind of being the instruction of catching bass to just going out and catching fish?
Yeah.
Like how do you make that transition for these folks that are starting their YouTube channel that don't have a boat and are from the bank to get to that point to make content that people want to see?
Yeah, I mean, at my core, I'm an opportunistic angler. Like, I only have, when I go out fishing, normally an hour max to fish. So unless I'm really trying to learn something, I'm going to dedicate that hour into catching fish any way that I can. And normally, and that's why I gravitate towards it, it's ultralight. So it's more fun for me to catch fish than to not catch fish. And knowing the waters around me, when it's a rough day and I'm bass fishing, I'm not going to even get a bite in an hour. If it's an okay day, I might get 1 or 2. But if I'm ultralight fishing and it's a bad day, I'll get 3 or 4, 5 maybe bluegills and have a good time doing it. And that's kind of at its core. Like my thing is like the whole objective of my channel is like showing a beginner's experience. Everything that I approach, whether it's a review, whether it's a new species that I'm trying to target, a new lure I'm trying to learn, it's all from a beginner's perspective because I only started fishing a few years ago.
Right.
And then I was making videos, not fishing videos, but I was making videos way years before I started fishing. I just decided I'm going to slap a camera on my chest because they're out here. People out here are actually doing this and watching, and people are watching them. I'm watching it. I can make videos. I can make fishing videos. So I decided I'm going to slap a camera on my chest, walk around, because I was already talking to myself out there when I was fishing anyways. So might as well let other people listen in. And that was kind of like the main idea is like, I fish when I can and I catch what I can. I'm not trying to catch the biggest fish. If I catch a huge fish, that's awesome. But most of the time it's like, I'm just coming out just like anybody else would and try and catch some fish. That's why I like to fish with worms, bobbers, because in the summertime or in the wintertime, it gets real tough. And if I'm going to spend an hour, if I'm going to spend an hour of my time that I could do something else, and if I'm going to go fishing, I'm going to do my best to catch fish. I'm not just going to go out there and just like practice my casting like I was last Saturday, basically.
Paul, you good?
I was going to say that I have had a many days where if it was a casting competition, I'd have done really good.
Dude, I did my best pitching.
The catching competition, I sucked at. I've had quite a few of those days. Like the second day on Lake Norman, where I gave the saddest updates that weekend. Yes. That second day where I went out and actually caught some fish, I put on a casting clinic, in my opinion.
Just so you know, Paul,
I mean, my casting was on point. Now, I only caught a few fish, but if the fish were to be in where they were supposed to be, and if they would have ate my damn lure instead of missing it, it would have been a much better day. But that wasn't my fault that Lake Norman had blind ass motherfucking fish in.
Listen, the people have spoken. They don't give a shit when you win. They just want to see you lose, Paul. That's all we care about.
Let me tell you something, man. The level of casting that I was doing last Saturday was impeccable. I didn't backlash once.
That's good. All right.
I skipped a jig better than I have ever skipped a jig in my life into these pockets. I had this attitude at that point where, again, I'm used to fishing for an hour and catching fish. So fishing for like 5-6 hours and not catching fish.
That's rough.
That was painful.
That's tough.
That's tough. I got to the point where I was like, I don't even care if I get hung up. So I'm over here like skipping jigs, little tiny pockets. And you'd have thought I was KVD with the way I was casting these things, because it was beautiful.
Paul didn't wash his hands.
I only lost a few lures.
Yeah,
but that was because I hooked into some like deep log or whatever. But the casting clinic that I put on Saturday, impeccable. It was a thing of beauty.
Hey, speaking of big wood or big logs, I just went tinkle, and I had two full streams of pee coming out my tinkle winkle the whole time.
Did you and the missus have a little
No, this was not sex induced at all. It was for whatever reason. I thought I might have been like I thought I might have been like peeing on my zipper and had two streams and I was running down my leg, but no, it wasn't like a me, myself, and Irene situation when he's in the bathroom. Hey, Irene, why am I peeing like we had sex all night? And then he finds that fucking like 18-inch dildo.
Ramon's like, this is going to be the best episode to promote myself. And then these guys talked about dildos. So,
hey, if
you have done wilder
we need mule jig fishing to come out with.
I said y'all have done wilder stuff.
No, Ramon just said he's done wilder stuff.
No, I said y'all have done wilder stuff.
Name one thing that's been wilder.
You came out in a bikini, dude.
No, that was gross. You're right.
Hey, I can come out like I'm French in a butt naked.
Hey, just so you guys know, we are at the time of recording, we're about 6 months away, and from the end of the year kegger. Let's see what Paul's gonna do next.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm being a suit the whole time.
Ramon, my biggest thing with YouTube. Right, is Alex? The quick story. We all know this. Alex started this shit.
We've already covered it.
Yeah, probably. Alex started the podcast to try to get people to his YouTube, and then when I started trying to fish, I had a chest camera. I had camera in the back.
We already covered this.
Edited it. Yeah, I know you did, but I'm just saying. I'm making a point here. Just fucking shut the fuck up and listen. all this stuff and create the YouTube content's a lot of fucking work. Is there a shortcut to create the YouTube content? And let's take this from TikTok, right? I think TikTok, I feel like TikTok is a shortcut to creating fishing content because it's quicker, shorter, all this and that. Is there a shortcut to make relevant YouTube videos, not shorts, YouTube videos, at least 10 minutes long that people are interested in? What makes them interesting? What makes somebody post a 10-minute video that somebody wants to sit and watch? What is the catalyst?
You had a bunch of questions there. The first one.
I had one.
What's the shortcut? No, you said what's the shortcut? Is there a shortcut?
What's the catalyst to make like a 10-minute video something people want to watch? Do you know
it's
that?
Being difficult. Like I said.
Yeah, I do know that.
Y'all invited me on this podcast.
No. I said this in the beginning. His diva range is getting to such great heights at this point. It's getting insane.
Anyways, what makes a good YouTube video is the fact that you want to watch it. The person who made it wants to watch it. Because if you can sit through your own stuff, someone out there is going to watch it. Because if you can't sit through your own stuff, I'll put it to you like this. How do you know, Paul, that you make good barbecue?
Because people told me that shit's good.
And you eat it and it's good, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't give up.
You wouldn't give it to
hold
someone
on.
if
Me
it didn't
eating
taste
my
good.
barbecue, and saying it tastes good is completely different than somebody else. There's two things. Other people say my barbecue tastes good, but I've also had people pay for it and still say it tastes good. Yeah. So, but me saying my fishing videos are good is one thing. That don't mean shit if the motherfucker's watching it.
No. What he's saying is, like, if you sit through and edit, Paul, right? Now, we actually did cover this already, but it is important to cover again, right? Paul, if you ate your barbecue and you ate it and you're like, this thing tastes like shit, would you want to send that to somebody else?
Well, of course not. No.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you sit through your video and you're like, this is great, there is someone out there that will watch it. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to hit all those people all at once. It's going to take some time to build that audience. Now, you ask, is there a shortcut in creating this content? There is, but it costs money. If you had the money, Paul, because you've said this before, you have tons of footage out there. If you had the money to hire someone, or you wanted to spend the money to hire someone to edit your videos and manage your YouTube channel, it would grow.
100%.
Yeah, if I had the money to give somebody all the footage that I had and they created good content that I agreed upon, they got posted. Yeah, sure. But to me, that's just again, I think it probably what y'all talked about. And I think what you talked about earlier, it's just putting the shit out there. Just getting the content out is the whole thing.
Well, I think this all goes through.
Once you get the content out and you have 100 videos out there and you see out of those 100, which got me 500 views, which got me 1,000, then you can take that handful and say, I need to make content that incorporate these videos.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Maybe it's a lure, maybe it's a technique, maybe it's catching the fish, whatever it is. But if you put 100 videos out there and you start to see which ones out of that 100 got the most views, then you need to start doing what you did or producing videos that got those views.
Hold on. And then Ramon. All right. So what Paul said, what he said, right? But let's be clear. Like, again, let's go back to what you said. Is this the content that you like
as long as that's the stuff you like to make, then go ahead. Because that's always somebody else.
If you've got somebody else making it for you, then it doesn't have to be the shit.
That's not what we're talking about.
No. I mean,
we're talking about
like this, Paul.
Look, I'm going to shut up because this is not my conversation. This is y'all's ball game. I'm just over here taking the ball from each of you and kicking it over the fence and making you really have to go get it.
You really are.
To come back to play the game.
Listen, Paul, I appreciate you being here. Anyway,
I don't.
What we mean is like it has to be the content you like to make because you still have to film it. You still have to sit there and record it. If Paul, I don't know if you like making review video or unboxing videos. I hate doing unboxing videos.
Paul,
I
you
don't
like
do
unboxing videos.
Look, I don't even like lure videos.
Exactly. I don't do unboxing videos because I hate doing unboxing videos.
Yes.
And I know those things get views. There are people who literally buy subscription tackle boxes just so they can do the monthly unboxing and get a ton of views. And that's great. If they like doing that, that's awesome. Good for them. I don't like doing it. I won't do that. I refuse because it's not.
But you did
what
in
I
the
wanna
past, right?
No, I've never done a monthly unboxing video.
Okay.
I have used the box in a video,
Gotcha.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't the sole purpose.
Okay.
But as long as you start from like, I'm going to make content I like to make, and I'm going to go look for the audience that likes this kind of content, and you find content that is successful and you double down on that content, then you're off to a good start. That is always a good spot. And for me, it's been these ultralight videos.
Yeah. Exactly
ultralight
what-
videos
yeah.
has been the space.
Paul was saying,
I've played around and gone into other types of videos that haven't done so well, but I made them anyways. And lesson learned. It was one of those things where it's like, and I'm not gonna take them down; they're gonna stay up. But it's one of those things where it's like, that video didn't really do well for me. I am not exceptionally passionate about making those kind of videos, so I'm not gonna keep doing that. I like going fishing. I like catching fish. If my ultralight videos get no views, I'm still gonna come out next week with another ultralight video because that's what I like to do. And eventually, the audience that I am trying to grow will find it.
No, I that's what I was trying to. Yeah. Just you want to make sure you're making what you want to do, right? And again, I went. Sorry. To go back to like you could do review videos, right?
Yeah.
You could sit there and review every piece of gear that you have, right? And that's solid, right? But eventually you're gonna have to buy more gear. And is that what you want to do?
Naturally.
Right. But is that actually what you want to do where you're just doing gear? Like,
if that's listen, there are some tackle heads out there, some tackle junkies
that's cool.
that collect things just to have them, and that's cool, and that's their deal. And
but
I'm not gonna yuck on someone else's yum. Like that's
I get it, but I find those people you have to have like taco junkie, right? And then whatever his birth date is after that, right? But he has a reputation of fishing to solidify it, right? So I feel like if you're a new YouTube channel, you probably shouldn't do just reviews. It might work really well, right? But you don't have any authority in the realm, if that makes sense. Or do you not agree with that?
No, I don't agree. I think that if you know your stuff, you can talk about whatever you want as long as you know your stuff. Like it's your YouTube channel. You can make whatever you want. Like that's the thing. There's no rules for this game outside of like, don't cuss in the first like 5 seconds of your video or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, fuck
that shit.
but like there's no rules. Like a good example. Let's put on your pretending hat, Alex. Let's say you are a fly fisherman out of Montana who has guided his entire life, and you have an affinity for collecting flies that you don't fish. You just collect these style of flies, right? But you know a lot about them. You have a ton of them. You like to show them off. And one day you're like, I'm going to make a YouTube video on this. Now, should I talk about these lures? No one knows me.
Correct.
You should. If you're passionate about it, if you like to make those videos, you should. If you're passionate about it and you like to make videos and you don't mind looking at your face and hearing yourself talk, you should make those videos.
I will say this also applies into me and Paul's deep research into the fisherman trap or not trap accounts, right? And I do feel like the new one that's popped up, and I know Paul's seen them too, is people tying flies in a provocative way.
What?
And are you doing that? Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're making the content. I've never seen them fish at all.
Okay.
But they are ultra attractive and they're tying flies, and that's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, if that's what they want to do, if that's the kind of content they like to make, all more power to them.
I want to know Ramon's deep thoughts on that content.
On that content specifically, if that's what they like, if there's an audience for it.
Joking, yeah.
And it's funny because I've had similar conversations with people, and it's like, if that's the content they want to make, and they're getting views and they're happy with it, then good for them.
Hey, Alex, Ramon.
Yeah.
Is there a content creator out there, a good one, let's say one over 10,000 subs, that makes consistent content fishing? Is there a content creator? Are there content creators out there that y'all follow that you feel like don't make the content they like to make, but they make the content that people
100%
watch?
100%.
Like,
yes.
I mean, you know, that's my whole thing. If I really just, if tomorrow I said, fuck it, I want to be a YouTuber, I feel like I would have to go out there and make content that people wanted to watch, regardless of how much I enjoyed it. But how many of these bigger YouTube guys are out there making, and let's keep it like the 10,000 to 50,000, which are the ones that just start getting into the point that they can make money, and they're like, all right, let me see if I can start making some money to turn this into a full-time gig or whatever. But not the 100, not the 500,000, not the million guys, because at that point, those guys can put out videos of them, you know, shaving their legs and get 1 million views. But these folks that have jumped over the hump like you have, Ramon, how many of those guys are making
$10 million
that
a
they
year?
Don't give a shit. They hate making the fucking content that they're making, but they're making the shit that gets them the views, that gets them money.
I don't know. I know they're out there.
I can name one. I can name one right now, and that's tactical bass fishing. I 100% think they don't like the content. What they're doing is the same thing every year, right? They just regurgitate it every year, and they're all great. It's solid content, but I'm sure those dudes don't like regurgitating the same thing every year because they're so bait and bait and season specific on how they roll their content, right? Like, these are the best 5 swim baits, right? And they'll break them down. I think they would love just fishing and being that kind of content, but instead they have to be the ultra knowledge instead. I don't think that's what they want to do.
Well, even Kayak Catfish, if you watch his videos, sometimes he does
that
shit,
guy.
and he
I
says
never want to support him anymore.
Kayak Catfish, and you'll hear him say that, you know, every now and again, I haven't watched a lot of stuff here recently, but there were times in last year and the year before, and I watched him religiously, where he would say, you know, he would create a video and he would do something and he would even say, yeah, this isn't really what I like to do, but this is what the YouTubers want. And it's the same thing, you know, when he would catch a fish, he would turn the clicker off on his reel because he would say, oh, the guys don't like me reeling the fish in with the clicker going. Or there would be something on his boat that squeaked or made a noise, and people would, you know, people would comment, say, oh, the fucking noise is killing me. And so he would always try to find ways to take that background noise out.
I get comments like that, and I always say, bite me. People always say, I fish ultralight. You keep your drag low.
Way too light. It's way
exactly.
too light.
Set your drag right. And I say, bite me, because this is how I fish. This is how I fish. It doesn't matter. But I don't. And to your point, Alex, I wouldn't go as far as to say that they don't like it, because they have to like it to some degree. Because at this point, they could pivot. They could do something else. They're like, tactical bassing is big enough to where they could do something else. They have a network of things. Like, it's hard to it's hard to say because maybe they do. I know there are folks out there who are like super nerdy about dialing in the winter transition.
Yeah,
And
but when they
using
say the
lures.
same thing every season after season,
Yep.
for the last 6 seasons, right?
Sure.
They're doing it specifically because people are gonna Google that.
Yeah.
I can see where that could get boring, right?
You can see
It
where that
turns
could get
into a
boring.
job. It turns into a job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is fine.
Let me put it like this. One day, this might turn into a job
Mm-hmm.
for you. But that doesn't mean you don't like doing it.
Oh no, I hate doing this now. I do this now to only because of the Patreons at patreon.com/Bass and Brews. I only lose $150 a year now, so it's great.
Not bad. It's not bad.
No, I'm just joking. No, I absolutely get what you're saying. Like, we do this as a passion project, right? But I count that big. It's not a passion project anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely a business. But
yeah,
to Paul's question, like, it's hard for me to say like if there are channels out there who are still doing something they don't want to be doing, because generally if I feel like the content I'm watching isn't genuine, then I'm out. The reason I watch, and I don't watch a lot of like fishing YouTube anymore. I used to. And the main reason is because I get critical and I like start thinking of how to improve someone else's video, which is not my place. The only ones that I do watch somewhat consistently, Greg Blanchard, Creek Fishing Adventures, and Lake Fork Guy. Those are the ones that I have on a consistent rotation.
It's not a bad
because
rotation.
it feels genuine. Like, and
you feel like you're with them. You feel like you're
I feel like you're hanging out.
them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that Bo, that's the hardest thing to create content, is to make the viewer feel like you're there with them. And again, back to Greg Blanchard, he does that very well. You know, the way he talks to the camera, the way he films his shots and produces the fish catches.
He's all right. He's never been on Bass and Brews. So,
well, he has. Alex just wasn't there.
I wasn't there, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's to me it's weird. And you said something funny too, Ramon. I don't watch a lot of YouTube fishing content anymore either.
Yeah, what are you watching, Ramon?
When I first got into kayak fishing, I was watching not just kayak fishing videos, but everybody, local guys that had 100 followers that were fishing lakes close to me. You know, the big guys, everybody's watching because I was trying to learn. And then I got to the point that I don't know. It's not that I learned it all. That wasn't it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess to me, it felt, a lot of the information felt repetitive.
Yeah.
And Alex and I have talked about this with this podcast too, is you're going to get these people. You have a few buckets of people that are watching your content. You have the ones that are coming in to learn.
Yep.
You had the ones, and then you have people coming in to learn. But you're going to have people that come in, and you're going to have some that stay forever and watch all your videos. Yeah. Then you're going to have folks that come in, and they're going to watch a little bit of it, and then they're going to peter out. Mm-hmm. And the most important thing is, how do you continue to get new viewers in? Because some of those you're going to keep, the majority you're going to lose. So how do you keep the ones that are coming in? How do you keep the keepers? To hell with the ones that are going to watch you for a month or two and leave. But how do you continue to get the new viewers in? Because that's what continues to grow the channel, is those new viewers, because you know you're going to lose probably 90% of those in a month or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Hey, hold on. Time out. That is such a great question, and I'm really surprised it came from him. Like, I am absolutely flabbergasted.
Well, he's the only host that's not slurring yet, so I'm not.
Hey, we're at the 145 mark, and that's when Alex starts slurring his words. We're on.
Anyways, answer the question.
To answer the question, I mean, the easy answer is you just keep making content. You keep making content because your content is eventually going to change. Like, unless you've put yourself into a little space, and that's the space you like to be in, where you do the same content, the kind of content that I make, I'm naturally going to start shifting in other directions. I've done ultralight. Last year I spent a lot of time learning bass fishing techniques, fished the tournament. This year I'm going to fish more tournaments, and that's kind of the space that I'm going in, is like I'm trying to get off of the bank a little bit more and get on the water. My hope is that I have made videos where people see who I am as an angler, as a person, and that's kind of been the focus of my content lately. I'm leaving in a little bit more room for my personality to show. Things that I would have normally cut out are now in the videos, and it's not adding a lot of time. I'm not worried about like retention or anything like that, because it's not making the videos that much longer. I want my personality to be in there. And that was one of the things pieces of feedback that I got that was actually like an eye opener for me. Somebody gave me the feedback, is like, hey, I know you. Where's like all your little jokes and your little quirks that you say to yourself all the time? Like, where is that? Because you cut those out. And I used to think it's like, well, they're not here for that. They're here for the fishing. But the opposite is true. Is like, put that in, see how they like it. And so far has been positive. Like, my views have been going up. My retention has been a little bit better. And it could be that my content is just better, or the fact that I'm leaving these little pieces of personality. But my returning viewers,
because the more that I've known Ramon, the more that I hate his personality.
Yeah, exactly. But the goal is to have my personality come through, and hopefully the ones that hang around is because they like who I am as an angler. They like who I am as a person, and they'll follow me through this journey of fishing.
Absolutely, man.
And I'm just gonna keep making content. Like right now, like the focus is the kayak. I have put so much money in the past few months into this kayak that I shouldn't have done, but I cannot bring myself to buy a new one at right now, because that would involve like a whole new car and all this other stuff, because it comes with like a mess of
this
upgrades.
A whole different another conversation, but you're completely wrong. I could get you on the right path where your mindset would change with all that, but that's a whole different podcast, because you're completely wrong. I promise you 100%. Bailey Eichbrett from Serious Angler.
I don't have legs the size of tree trunks.
This motherfucker traveled the country car topping his shit on like a Honda Prelude.
That's fine.
And in like you, anyway, we're not going to dive into this.
Thank
you and I'll
Paul.
dive into this if you want to continue doing this shit. And at the end of the year, when you've been in the kayak more and you get more comfortable, we'll get you to the point that you'll change your mindset on the.
I will say this: it's two things that make me not want to buy a new kayak. The car and that situation, that's one. Yeah. But the other one is, call it ego, call it pride, call it whatever. I want to prove that you can actually compete in a paddle kayak in today's world, which I know is difficult.
But there's other people already proven that, so you don't need to prove
my
it
channel.
Around on these
not
lakes.
On your channel. You're right.
We aren't in skinny water, Ramon. We're in big lakes where you need to go out. Alex car tops his shit.
Great.
And he don't have thick thighs. He ain't tall.
I do.
His car is shorter than mine, though.
No, you
it's
don't.
not. And I have thicker thighs, but
his car is shorter than mine. And
wait, hold on. What do you drive?
I drive a Highlander.
I drive a Forester. It's the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Foresters are shorter.
But you could lay your seats down, Ramon, and slide the kayak in the back.
Where am I putting
the gear? It's shorter than Alex.
I'm not taking out all the car seats. Anyways,
Alex doesn't even come up to the muffler of a Highlander.
Exactly. Anyways, but like,
I love you, Alex. Send me my fucking crankbaits,
and I still do
it. But like, my point is like, I want to document like myself competing, not necessarily winning. I'm gonna do my hardest to win, just like I did last Saturday. Tried my hardest to win, but I want to show that you can compete in this. This is like, call it ego, call it pride, whatever you want. But I want to do that.
I got you. You're doing
as much as like we want and we preach. It's easy to say that save your money up, get a pedal kayak. That's great advice. But man, at the prices that kayaks are at today, like even the used ones are like 2 to 3 times more expensive than they were like 2-3 years
I'm gonna
ago.
tell you
It's
what.
nuts.
When I bought, I looked at the price of the kayak that I bought prior to COVID, right? And then now it's the same kayak.
Yeah.
It's $1,000 more, and I'm
Exactly.
like, what? How the fuck is that even possible? But yeah, no, I totally get it, and that's cool. Like, rock that. Like, that's it's actually probably a really good move. On the
Yeah, I
YouTube
want to make
side,
this
right?
like the best fishing kayak that I can make it into.
The
and
only
I'm dialed
problem
in.
is that you didn't catch fucking
Yeah, the only
fish.
problem, it isn't
Yeah.
the boat, it's me. That's the only
Yeah,
problem.
that's
We
the only
need
problem.
Ramon. You need to talk to Drew from the Paddler's Playbook because he started fishing kayaks 15 years ago when they weren't fishing kayaks. You had to make them fishing kayaks.
Yeah.
And so you need to talk to Drew on how to
I don't
pimp
think
out
it's
your
a-
kayak.
I don't think it's a pimp out.
It doesn't have to be pimped, but he needs to make it where it is a fishing vessel.
I don't think
he's
it's
going to
that.
come out
I think
and be
it's that
competitive.
Ramon sucks at fishing.
Well,
and that's
but
where-
he can become better at fishing if he has a kayak that is better equipped to fish. Then he can become a better angler at fishing.
I mean, I feel like the kayak's almost there.
I think the
Me
kayak's
on the
there.
other hand, like
the angler is
Hey,
not
once
there.
you feel comfortable in your kayak and you
I'm
can start going
comfortable.
out there and not have to worry about that
You're still
bitch, and you
comfortable.
just go
Yeah,
out there
exactly.
and your whole thing is to go out there and fish, and you don't
Yep.
have to worry about where shit is and how you got this and that and all. Once you feel comfortable in your kayak and you can start just going and focusing on fishing, shit'll change.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like this past tournament, I haven't fished out of the kayak in a year.
Yeah, so
This
there you
tournament was
go.
the first
Yeah.
time I fished in a kayak, and the last time I fished the Eno was almost a year ago as well, and all I
Mhm.
caught was like a white bass.
Mm.
And so the level of comfort that I felt in the kayak this time, just being in it, moving around, like reaching back, getting stuff, preparing things, was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was like riding a bike. I was like, okay, here we go again.
Mhm.
And it felt natural is the best way to say it. I wasn't worried about much. I did use the fish finder this time that you gave
That's
me,
good.
Paul.
Did it
And
last all day?
yeah, like, well, I bought a new battery.
Okay, good.
The
good.
battery,
Hey, what was the name of that battery?
the one that smelled like fish.
No. I just want to know the name of the battery. What
I
was
have
it
no
I
called?
idea.
gave you is a Cabela's lithium.
No, not that one. What's the new battery you're running?
Oh, the one that I just set up, the Naqua.
What's that?
Naqua.
Okay. What's the name of the kit for
Oh,
it?
the Naqua Pro Power Kit. He's laughing. Go follow me on Instagram or TikTok. You'll get why he's laughing soon. That's going up pretty soon.
I missed that one.
It's all right, Paul. You'll get caught up. But
That's what my
Knock
wife
up,
tells.
up,
That's
up,
what my
up.
wife tells me every time. Actually, it's backwards. But anyway,
But yeah, if I had to make one more change to this kayak, it's a rudder. A rudder's the only thing I need, because as soon as
Alex?
it starts drifting,
an Alex rudder.
sure,
Hey-oh!
whatever kind of rudder someone wants to give me, I'll put it in. That thing. As soon as the wind starts blowing, I'm starting to like turn in circles like a top. or
Yeah,
something
that's
with the rudder.
gnarly.
Yeah,
But
a
I feel
rudder will
good.
help, but that's also a kayak thing too. Some of your cheaper kayaks are high centered. That's why you
Mhm.
spin, and as you step up, you get kayaks that are a little more back centered, and so they tend to not spin when the fucking spinning circles like a top.
Yep.
All
Good
right, at
things.
this point, hey, he's gonna interrupt it. Hey, Ramon,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming out, brother. I think you dropped a shit ton of knowledge. It was amazing. You guys can find him at Ramon Outdoors, basically everywhere, and even RamonOutdoors.com. If you want to go to his website too, right? What are you flashing up there?
Bluegill and
Man.
bass stickers.
Oh shit, yeah. No, Ramon has these amazing stickers coming out shortly. They are like 100% in my own. If you guys like the Bass and Brews kind of aesthetic, he's got the same kind of deal going on. They're fucking awesome. So, yeah.
Hold on, I want to give some away. Can I give some away on your podcast?
Yeah.
If you want to, hold on.
Okay,
we'll
you
lower
ready?
the music.
Ready?
Listen, I spent so much on this music. I'm trying to use it as much as possible.
You'll be fine. All right. Here's the
Paul.
deal. I'm gonna make it super easy,
Here it is.
and I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna try to anyways.
Okay.
You have to go on YouTube and
Okay.
comment Alex is
Yep.
short.
Fuck
And
me.
you'll
God
get-
damn it.
You'll get each one of these. Holographic. They're durable. You're gonna love them. Comment, and I don't know. When
Hey.
the next one after mine comes out, I'll pick the winner.
Hey, what do those stickers actually say?
Bass and Bluegill.
100%. All right, there we go, everybody. Listen, you want some dope stickers? Check it out. I keep trying to just trying to use the music.
Down the stream. Merrily,
Hey, Paul.
merrily, merrily.
What
Life
makes
is
you so
fun.
good at telling stories?
Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, merrily.